Hi, my name is Linda Cirulli-Burton, and welcome to this channel named Above the Battleground, ACIM. Above the Battleground is based on the teachings of a spiritual self-study path called A Course in Miracles. I myself have been a student of A Course in Miracles since 1992, and just recently, like over this past year, I have just felt more and more drawn to sharing perspectives and applications of these teachings to my own life and the life of others. This is a desire to share and perhaps be helpful, not only to myself, but to you. So, what I want to handle today is an explanation for what can happen if the decision maker in our mind is strengthened. And I believe that that decision maker in our minds gets strengthened for most of us incrementally, one step at a time, and you build up the muscle. So the way that I have come to understand it is there is the wrong mind and there is the right mind. And here, above both of them rests the decision maker. And the decision maker is actually free will. So let's talk a minute about what does it mean to be wrong-minded? What does it mean to be right-minded? Well, I've got to tell you that I undertook this project where I would read and listen to Ken Wapnick and do the same with Gary Renard and start to compile a list. So I want to show you what I've done so far. So I made up a list of wrong-minded words, and words are symbols of symbols, but wrong-minded. And I wanted just to show you this list, and I'll share more and more as time goes on. But here, A, B, C, D, E, and then we keep on going. Lots and lots of wrong-minded words. Okay, so then I went to right-minded. What does it mean, right-minded? And so I did up another whole crazy wild list of words that represented right-minded thinking or the right-minded world. Now, what I want to do is, I'm not going to drag you through reading all of these words, but I did want to share a sampling of the words from each side. And I'll tell you that this particular group that I'm sharing with you, question 111 from the Q&A that was created by Ken Wapnick. I think there's like 1,248 questions that were addressed in the Q&A. And I've been reading this for a very, very long time. And in question 111, the answer to it was just, it seemed just perfectly exemplified what it is I'm trying to share. So here's examples of wrong-minded words or wrong-minded descriptions of the wrong-minded world. Physical, changing, limited, forms, imperfect, temporal, dualistic. It's the ego mind, okay? In this particular show, it's as though the universe is under the dominion of both good and evil. So it is very, very dualistic, okay? The world, the wrong-minded thinking, ego mind, okay? Now let's look at terminology that would describe right-minded living, which also could be stated to be the mind of God with a capital M, the mind of God. Okay, spiritual, changeless, limitless, formless, perfect, eternal, non-dualistic. There's nothing against which it fights. It's only one, the mind of God. So in other words, what A Course in Miracles will tell you is that this is the real world. The world of duality, the ego mind, the wrong-minded life, that is not real. And the real is what A Course in Miracles is aiming to get us to. by living out our lives, okay? So the ego mind versus the mind of God. Okay, now, what I particularly am attracted to is the concept that our lives in the ego mind or the wrong minded way can become a classroom. It becomes a classroom by which we are able to climb out of the ego mind and to the top of, or the over the battleground, and in essence choose the right minded vision. Okay, so what I love about this is that you don't have to run away from your own life. You don't have to become an ascetic. You don't have to separate yourself from the rest of the world. You can just live your life and observe yourself living this life. And then when you need to, find peace. So for example, some of the greatest quotes from A Course in Miracles: I could see peace instead of this. I could see peace. There's another way of looking at this. Now, I have to tell you that my interpretation of turning the other cheek is really, honestly, first I looked at something this way, then I turned and I looked at it from that way. And when I did, everything changed. So let me give you a little example from my own life. Last year, I had a cataract surgery done on my eyes, and the right eye went great. The left eye did not go great. And I'm not here to make anybody nervous because it only happens to like 1% of the population. But anyway, what happened is that a piece of the cataract got caught in the corner of my left eye. So of course I went crazy. I ended up with a corneal specialist, and we're still working at this. We're still working on getting the vision up to snuff, but it's been a heck of a journey. And I want to tell you that when this first happened, I was in super panic mode. I mean, I really was a mess. I was an absolute mess. And then what happened is that I changed the way that I was looking at it. And I knew that I could see peace instead of this. And so I started to extract the gifts, the gift thinking. I use gift thinking is what I call. What were the positives? What were the blessings? And so what I discovered was that as someone who had been hugely impatient all of my life, I want it now, I want to get this done, all of a sudden I could not. All of a sudden it was a process. I couldn't get it fixed overnight. It was going to take time. And not only that, there was really no guarantee. But I got it. And I believe that my life has hugely been changed as a result of the episode with my left eye. You remember that my left foot, I need a movie, my left eye. So what I want to say once again is that this is one of the rungs on the ladder. How can I use the mundane details of my life as a way to get to the decision maker so that I can look at something from a different way, from a different perspective? And as I told you, for me, it is to hold the hand of Jesus, to talk to the Holy Spirit. For you, what is your representative of abstract, perfect, changeless love? The decision maker, our free will, can choose to look at our lives in 3D, and everything can change. So thank you again for joining me on this journey, and I look forward to seeing you soon.